Don't flinch.
The plate slipped from her hand before she even felt it move. 1 second she was wiping the rim with a damp cloth, the next it shattered against the wooden floor of the sheriff's cabin, the sound sharp enough to cut the quiet in half. She froze with her breath stuck in her throat. The sheriff looked up from the table. He did not speak. He did not flinch. His silence filled the room like a heavy wind that refused to move. She felt the pressure of it, the weight of him watching her without blinking. "I am sorry," she whispered. He didn't answer. She waited for anger, waited for the heavy stomp of boots or the rise of his voice, but he only sat there with his jaw tight and his eyes deep and unreadable. The lantern flickered between them, throwing thin shadows across the floorboards. "It slipped," she said. Still nothing. She bent down to pick up the broken pieces, but her fingers trembled and a shard cut the side of her thumb. She hissed softly. He heard it. He stood. The sound of his chair scraping back felt too loud, too sudden. She straightened fast even though the sting of the cut made her wince. "You bleeding," he said quietly. "It is nothing." "Show me." "It is fine." I said show me. His voice stayed low, but something inside it made her heart thump. She lifted her hand. The cut wasn't deep, but the red smear looked bright against her skin. He took a step closer. She stepped back. His eyes narrowed for a second, not in anger but in something else, something older and lonelier. "I did not mean to scare you," he said. "You did not." She tried to smile but couldn't hold it. "I just need to finish cleaning." "Leave it." "I cannot leave it." "You can tonight." The quiet returned and stretched between them. She held her cut thumb against her apron and tried not to shake. He looked at the broken plate as if it carried a message he didn't want to read. She watched him, trying to understand him the way she tried to understand the shifting winds that sometimes turned the fields dark for no reason. "You jumped too quick," he said. "The sound startled me, that is all." "You jump like someone expecting a blow." Her breath hitched. "I said it startled me." He looked at her again, slower this time, as though studying each small truth her face couldn't hide. He wasn't a cruel man, but he was a lonely one, and lonely men had their own kind of silence, heavy and unpredictable. She felt it wrapping around her now. "Did someone hurt you?" he asked. "No." "You sure?" "I am sure." "You lie like someone who does it often." Her eyes dropped. "I do not lie." "You just did." "It is none of your concern," she said. "It is if you come here every day and shake like a leaf when something falls." "I do not shake." "You just cut yourself trying to pretend you do not." She swallowed. Her pulse was too loud in her ears. She felt the familiar ache behind her ribs, the one she carried from home to work and back again, the ache she never named aloud. "It is late," she said. "I should go." "You are leaving because I asked a question." "No. I am leaving because my work is done. There is glass on the floor. I will clean it tomorrow." "I can clean it," he said. She blinked, surprised. "You never clean anything." "Maybe I should start." He said it softly, almost to himself. She reached for the door. His silence followed her like a shadow. "You scared of me?" he said. "No." "Yes you are." She paused with her hand on the knob. "I am tired. That is all." "You walk home alone this late every night?" "Yes." "You should not." "I have no choice." "You have more choices than you think." She forced a thin breath. "Good night, Sheriff." He didn't answer until she stepped outside. "Good night. And be careful." She nodded once and left, but she felt his stare lingering on her back long after the cabin door closed. She returned the next morning carrying the same quiet exhaustion in her shoulders. The sheriff's cabin sat in its usual stillness, the porch steps dusty, the lantern inside already lit though it was barely sunrise. She entered without knocking, the way he had told her to long ago. The floor was clean. No trace of the broken plate remained. She froze in the doorway, unsure what that meant. He stood near the window with his hat in his hands. When he turned toward her, the room tightened. "You are early," he said. "I could not sleep." "You leave in a hurry and then you do not sleep." "I left because it was late." "You left because you were scared." "I was not scared." He stepped closer, slow and steady, and reached past her toward the shelf behind her shoulder. "Don't flinch," he murmured. She flinched anyway. Her breath snapped inward, and he paused, his hand still hovering over the broom. Their eyes locked. She felt the familiar sting of shame rise in her throat. "I told you not to," he said. "You moved too close." "I was reaching for the broom." "I know." "You do not act like you know." She pressed her back against the door as if it could steady her pulse. "I am fine." "You are not." "Why do you care?" she asked. He looked at her like the question annoyed him, but also like it landed deeper than she expected. "Someone should." "I do not need someone." "That is what people say when they do." She shook her head and took the broom from his hand before he could stop her. "Let me start. I have chores to finish." "You could have left the broken plate for me." "You do not like mess." "I do not like silence either," he said. She frowned. "I did not realize you wanted conversation." "I want truth." "I told you I am fine." "And I told you that is a lie." Her grip tightened on the broom handle. "You know nothing about my life. That is why I am asking. And I am telling you it is none of your concern." He stepped closer again. She stiffened. He lowered his voice. "Who put bruises on your arm?" She blinked, stunned. "What?" "The bruise. Near your elbow. I seen it last week." Tried to act like I did not. "It was nothing." "Nothing does not leave finger marks." "They are not finger marks." "Tell me who gave them to you." "No." "Tell me and I handle it." She shook her head fast. "You cannot handle everything." "I can handle this." "It is not your place." "It is if you work in my cabin every day." "That does not make me yours," she said. He stopped. Something dark flickered in his eyes, not anger, but recognition. "I know that," he said quietly. "I am trying to help." She swallowed. "Help me by letting it go." "I cannot." "You must." "I do not know how to do that." She turned away from him and began sweeping even though the floor was already clean. He watched her with a frustration that seemed to scrape at something inside him. "You think I am trying to control you," he said. "I think you are trying to pry into something I do not want to share. I am trying to keep you safe." "I do not need safety from you." "You need safety from someone." "I can take care of myself." "No, you cannot." She spun toward him, her voice rising. "You do not get to say that." "Well, it is true. You know nothing about what I deal with." "Then tell me." "No." He exhaled hard and rubbed his forehead. "You walk home alone every night. You jump when a plate breaks. You hide bruises with your sleeve. Something is wrong." "Everything is wrong for someone in this town," she said. "But not everyone walks around like they are waiting to be struck." Her voice cracked. "Please stop." He did. The room quieted until the lantern flame seemed too loud. She braced her hands on the broom handle and stared at the floor. "I am leaving," she whispered. "Why?" "Because I cannot talk about this." "I did not ask you to." "You did." He looked away, jaw tense. "Fine. Go." She walked to the door without speaking. When she stepped outside, she felt him watching her again. She didn't turn around. But he stayed at the window long after she disappeared down the dirt road, wondering why her silence felt heavier than any answer she could have given. She returned to the cabin the next morning even though her chest still felt tight from the night before. The walk up the dirt trail felt longer, heavier, as if the ground itself carried something she did not want to face. When she reached the porch, she froze. 2 sets of footprints lined the dusty boards. One was hers. The other was larger, deeper, pointing toward the door. She stepped closer, heart thudding. The sheriff opened the door before she could knock. "You see it," he said. "Yes." "When did you get visitors?" "I do not get visitors." "Then whose tracks are those?" "I do not know." "You do." "I do not," she said, but her voice wavered. He stepped out onto the porch, his boots landing beside the prints. "These are fresh." "So are mine." "Yours stop here." His go right to the door. "I do not know whose they are." "You are lying again." "Stop saying that." "Then stop doing it." She crossed her arms as if the motion could shield her. "Someone could have passed by." "No one passes by here." "Maybe a traveler." "Travelers do not walk straight up to my door." "Maybe an animal." "Animals wear boots now." She inhaled sharply. He crouched down, studying the print. "This is not someone random." "Leave it alone." He stood. "Tell me the truth." "There is no truth to tell." "You are shaking." "It is cold." "It is warm." "Then I am tired." "You are scared." She bit the inside of her cheek. "I want to start my work." "You are not going inside until you tell me." "You cannot stop me." He blocked the doorway, not touching her, just standing there like a wall built from fear and stubbornness. "Someone followed you." "You do not know that." "There are no prints leading away from here." "That means they came when you left last night." "I left alone." "You think I did not notice you kept looking over your shoulder when you walked out?" She swallowed hard. "You were watching." "I was making sure you got home." "You should not do that." "You make that sound like I had a choice." "You did." "Not anymore." She lowered her gaze. "Please move." "No." "Sheriff. Tell me if someone is following you." "He is not." "So it is a he." She stiffened, silently cursing herself. He noticed instantly. "Who is he?" he asked. "No one." "You said that about the bruises too." "It is different." "Different how?" "It just is." "Does he hurt you?" She shook her head. "Not like you think." "That is not an answer." Her throat tightened. "Sometimes I hear footsteps when I walk home." His jaw set. "How long?" "A few weeks." "You should have told me." "I knew you would react like this." "You mean try to protect you?" "I do not need protecting." "Yes you do." "No I do not." He stepped closer. She stepped back until her heel bumped the porch rail. "Why did you not tell me?" he asked. "Because it does not matter." "It matters if he is coming here." "He was not coming here." "He was following me." The words slipped out before she could stop them. He stared at her, the truth settling heavy in the air. "So someone is following you home." She pressed her fingers to her forehead. "I do not know who he is." "Yes you do." "He stays far behind," she whispered. "I never see his face." "But you know him." "I know the way he walks." "That means you know him." Her eyes filled with something close to dread. "I wish I did not." He looked back at the footprints, then at her, then at the long empty trail behind her. "You should not be living alone." "I have no one else." "You have me." She flinched, not from fear, but from the weight of those words. "You should not say that." "It is true." "No. It makes things complicated." "Things already are." She looked past him into the silent cabin. Let me work. Please. He hesitated but stepped aside. She brushed past him quickly and entered the dim room. He stood in the doorway, watching the trail like a man preparing for a storm he knew by name but would not speak aloud. He followed her inside, closing the cabin door with a slow, deliberate push. The room felt smaller today, as if the walls leaned in to listen. She went straight to the sink and turned on the water even though there were no dishes left to wash. Her hands shook beneath the faucet. He saw it. She tried to hide it. You are scared, he said quietly. I am cleaning. You are running. I came to work. That is all. You came because you did not want to be home alone. She pressed her lips together. Stop talking. I will stop when you tell me his name. She gripped the edge of the sink until her knuckles whitened. I said I do not know who he is. You know his walk. Many men walk the same. You know his height. Could be anyone. You know his voice. Her shoulders tensed. I never said that. You did not have to. She turned off the water but didn't move. He is no one. Then say his name. I cannot. You mean you will not? It is the same. No. It is not. She spun around. Why does it matter to you? Because someone is watching you every night. You do not know that. I know enough. You know nothing, she said, but her voice trembled. He stepped closer, slow enough for her to see it coming but fast enough that she could not retreat without hitting the counter. Tell me who he is. I cannot, she whispered. Why? Because saying it makes it real. It already is. But I do not want it to be. He studied her face, seeing fear mixed with something heavier, older. Did he hurt you? Her throat worked as she swallowed. Not with hands. What did he do? Sheriff, please. What did he do? He watches, she said, barely audible. He waits. He wants something I will not give. What does he want? She shook her head. Your silence tells me enough, he said. You are twisting everything. No. I am trying to understand. You cannot understand. Try me. She looked down at her shoes, her breath shaky. Some men do not need to touch you to hurt you. He blinked, the meaning sinking in. Did you tell anyone? No. Why not? Who would believe me? I would. You were not supposed to be part of this, she murmured. I already am. She backed away, but he followed. Tell me his name. I said no. Why protect him? I am not protecting him. Then what are you doing? I am protecting myself. He frowned. From what? From the trouble your anger brings. Her words hit harder than she intended. He stiffened, then exhaled through his nose. You think I cannot control myself. I think you carry too much hurt. He blinked again, slower this time. Who told you that? No one. I can see it. He didn't respond. His jaw clenched. He walked to the lantern on the table and adjusted the flame even though it didn't need adjusting. The quiet stretched, sharp around the edges. You think I am dangerous, he finally said. No, she answered softly. But you could be. For him. For yourself. He turned back toward her. He came to my cabin. He followed me here. That makes him my problem. No, she said quickly. Do not make it that. It already is. I came here to work, not to bring trouble. You brought trouble the day you walked up that road shaking with fear. She stiffened. You see things that are not there. I see enough. You think I do not notice how you listen for footsteps even when you are inside. Stop. You flinch when a broom moves. Stop. You jump at shadows. Please. You look at the window like something out there wants you. Her breathing broke and she pressed a hand against her chest. Do not say that. But it is true. I do not want to talk about him. And I cannot protect you if you keep pretending he is not real. I never asked for protection. You do not have to ask. He is not your responsibility. You are not mine either, he shot back. But here we are. Her eyes lifted to his, and for a moment neither spoke. The lantern crackled. A draft slid under the door like a warning. She opened her mouth to speak, but the sheriff's gaze snapped past her toward the window. What was that? He whispered. She turned. A shadow crossed the glass, slow and distorted, then vanished into the morning light. Her breath shivered. He is here. The sheriff grabbed his coat. Not for long. He did not wait for her to argue. He grabbed his coat and stepped onto the porch, scanning the tree line with the steadiness of a man used to hunting threats he could not fully name. She followed him out, her hands shaking against her skirt. The morning light felt thin and unsure, like it did not want to touch the ground. Where did he go? The sheriff asked. I do not know. You saw the shadow. I saw something. That was not nothing. I did not say it was nothing. You are still trying to pretend. No, she whispered. I am trying to breathe. He glanced at her, the anger in his shoulders softening for just a moment. You should not walk home alone today. I walk home alone every day. Not anymore. I do not want you involved. Too late. She pressed her lips together. Walking me home will not fix anything. It will show him you are not alone. That might make it worse. It might make it stop. You do not know him. He locked eyes with her. Then tell me. She looked away. He sighed, grabbed his hat, and stepped off the porch. Let's go. She hesitated. Now? You do not want to be here if he comes back. She followed him down the dirt path, the road stretching ahead like a thin scar through the woods. The air was still. Too still. The sheriff walked beside her at first, but after a few yards he slowed, letting her move slightly ahead. You are falling behind, she said. I am watching our back. There is nothing there. You said that last night too. I do not need guarding. Yes, you do. No, I do not. You keep saying that. Because it is true. He shook his head. Your steps get fast when you lie. She quickened her pace without meaning to. Do not study me. I am trying to keep you alive. She flinched at the word alive. He noticed, of course he did. The man noticed everything she tried to hide. Did he threaten you? He asked. Not with words. What then? A presence. A feeling. You would not understand. Try me. She looked over her shoulder. The woods looked empty, but emptiness could hide anything. He walks where I walk. He knows when I leave. He knows when I return. Does he speak to you? No. Does he come close? Close enough. He clenched his fists. Tell me his name. No. You trust me enough to clean my cabin but not enough to tell me who's hunting you. He is not hunting me. What do you call this? I do not know. You do. No. Yes. She stopped walking. Please. Enough. He stopped too, his chest rising with something between anger and fear. I am trying to understand why you are so afraid to say his name. She took a slow breath. Because saying it pulls him closer. That is not how things work. Then you do not know men like him. What did he do to earn this much fear? Nothing. Yet. Yet, he repeated. That is the problem. She started walking again, faster now. The sheriff followed her, his boots crunching on gravel. The woods closed in on either side, shadows long and thin. Slow down, he said. No. You do not have to run. I am not running. You are. That is your imagination. No. It is not. They walked like that for a long stretch, their words sharp and thin. The wind shifted, carrying the faint scent of damp earth. Something cracked in the distance. She stopped instantly. You heard that, she whispered. Yes. Do not turn around. He turned anyway. Nothing stood behind them. But the sheriff's face changed. I heard footsteps. So did I. And you want me to believe you are not being followed? I never said that. You do not have to. The road says it for you. She swallowed hard. You should go back. No. I did not ask for this trouble. You did not bring it. It found you. She hugged her arms to her chest. I do not want you hurt. Too late for that, he said softly. I am already in this. She shifted her weight, suddenly steadier than before. Listen to me. If he is here, he will not show himself. He already did. Not fully. What does that mean? He watches. He always watches first. Why? To see who is with me. His eyes narrowed. Then he sees me. Yes. And that changes things. Good. No, she said, voice low and certain. It makes you a target. He stepped in front of her, blocking the wind, blocking the fear, blocking everything but his own resolve. Then he will learn I do not scare easy. She held his stare for a long moment before whispering, You should. They reached the edge of her small clearing just as the light began to fade behind the trees. Her house sat quiet at the center of the yard, the boards worn silver with age. She stopped so suddenly the sheriff almost stepped into her. Her breath thinned out, trembling in the air. He followed her gaze and felt his stomach knot. The front door was open. Not wide, but cracked, leaning just enough to show a dark slit of inside shadow. You lock it when you leave, he said. Yes. You sure? Yes. And you never leave it open? No. He studied the door, the porch, the silence around them. Stay behind me. No. Yes. You cannot tell me. Stay behind me. She hesitated, then nodded. He stepped forward with his hand hovering near the holster on his belt. She followed close, every step in sync with his. The air felt thick, heavy, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. The boards creaked under their feet. He touched the door with 2 fingers. It is warm, he whispered. She stiffened. Meaning someone was just here. Meaning someone did not want it to close all the way. Why would he do that? To warn you. Or to scare you. He does not warn. Then he came inside. The sheriff pushed the door open. It slid inward with a long soft groan. The house smelled wrong. Damp earth mixed with something sweet, something old. She stepped closer to him without meaning to. Stay here, he said. I am not staying alone. You are not alone. If you go in, I go in. He looked at her, saw the fear fighting with her stubbornness, and realized he couldn't force her to wait outside. He nodded once. Stay close. They entered together. The dim room swallowed them quickly. The sheriff took slow measured steps, eyes scanning corners, walls, shadows. She clutched her hands together to keep them from shaking. Anything missing? He asked. I cannot tell. He moves things sometimes. What things? Small things. Quiet things. That is not an answer. I do not know what he takes. You would know if something was gone. No, she whispered. That is what makes it worse. He paused. You mean he touches things but leaves them? Yes. He moved deeper into the room. A faint smear of mud streaked the wall near the table. He leaned closer, frowning. This is fresh. She swallowed. There is always mud when he comes. How many times has he been inside? I do not count. Why not? Counting means I accept it. But you let it keep happening. I am not letting it. Then what do you call this? She didn't answer. He turned toward the next room. Stay behind me. I said I will not stay alone. Then stay close. He pushed the bedroom door open. The bed was untouched. The window was shut. The curtain moved slightly, though no wind touched it. He scanned the room and stepped back. Empty, he said. He never comes when people are here. That is not comforting. It is true. Where does he hide? Outside. In the trees. In the dark. He knows when to move. That is not normal. Nothing about him is normal. He led her back to the main room. He looked at the floor and slowly crouched. Come here. She stepped beside him. On the wooden boards near the table was a single muddy handprint. Large. Smudged. Pressed hard, as if someone leaned on it while watching the door. Her breath caught. He has never done that before. The sheriff touched the edge of the print. He wanted you to know he was here. No, she whispered. He wanted you to know. He looked up sharply. Why me? You walked me home. So he sees me as a threat. Yes. Good. No, she said, panic rising. He will not stop now. He has never stopped. He will turn it into something else. Like what? I do not know, she said, voice cracking. That is what scares me. The sheriff stood. Pack what you need. What? You are not staying here tonight. I have nowhere else. You have my cabin. No, she said quickly. I cannot go with you. Yes, you can. It will make him angry. It will make him cautious. He will follow. Let him. You do not understand how he works. He is a man. Men bleed. Men break. Men can be stopped. Not him. Yes, the sheriff said, voice low and final. Him too. She looked around her small home, the place that held every memory she tried to protect, and felt something inside her shift. He will not like this. I do not care what he likes. You should. Why? Because he does not fight to win, she whispered. He fights to ruin. The sheriff grabbed her coat from the chair and placed it in her hands. I am not letting you stay here alone. Not tonight. She held the coat, her fingers trembling. You are making a promise you cannot keep. I keep mine, he said. Does he keep his? She didn't answer. He opened the door. The air outside felt colder. He waited for her. After a long moment, she stepped forward. I will stay until morning, he said. No matter what. And she believed him. Morning light crept through the small cabin windows like it wasn't sure it belonged there. She sat at the sheriff's table with her hands wrapped around a warm cup of tea. Her eyes were swollen from a night without sleep. He stepped out of the small back room, boots in hand, hair still damp from washing. He paused when he saw her staring at the table. What's wrong? He asked. There are 3 cups. He looked. 3 cups sat neatly side by side. 2 were theirs. 1 she had never seen. He came closer, jaw tightening. Did you use it? No. Then it was here already. It was not. You sure? Yes. He picked up the unfamiliar cup, turning it slowly. No dust. He was here, she whispered. He did not come inside. I checked every window. He does not need windows. Then how did he get in? Same way he always does. Her voice trembled. Quiet. He set the cup down, harder than he meant to. He followed us. I told you he would. But I checked the door twice. He does not care about doors. He rubbed the back of his neck, eyes narrowing. Why leave a cup? To show me he can. Or to show me. She didn't answer. Her fingers tightened around her tea. The sheriff leaned on the table, studying her face like he was trying to read something she wasn't saying. Tell me more, he said. I already have. Not enough. It is all I know. No. It is all you are willing to say. She looked away. You do not understand what happens when someone like him wants something. Then make me understand. She shook her head slowly. My family was known for leaving things behind. Not money. Not land. Only promises. Some broken. Some not. He thinks I owe something. What? I do not know. You must. I do not, she insisted. I barely knew him. Him. So it is someone from your family. Silence answered him. Which one? He pushed. No. Brother. She flinched. Stop. Cousin. Stop. Father. Her breath hitched. Do not say that. He stepped closer. Who else could it be? I said do not. You are scared of the truth more than you are scared of him. You do not know what you are talking about. Then tell me. No. He stood still for a moment, watching her chest rise and fall too fast. What did he do to you? Nothing. That is a lie. Nothing with hands, she whispered. He remembered her words from the night before. Something inside him hardened. He tormented you. Yes. How long? All my life. Why? I do not know. She wiped her eyes. He thinks the world owes him something. And if he cannot have that, he takes whatever else he can reach. And you were close enough. She nodded once. The sheriff's voice lowered. Why did he come back now? Because I left. You ran. Yes. From him. Yes. And he followed. Yes. He stepped back, pacing once across the room. You should have told me from the start. You would have sent me away. No, I would not. Yes. You want peace in your cabin. A woman with problems does not bring peace. Do not put words in my mouth. I am telling you how it is. I decide how it is, he said. She looked at him, surprised by the firmness in his tone. The sheriff walked back to the kitchen and placed the third cup in the center of the table like evidence. Has he ever hurt anyone else? He asked. He hurt everyone in our family one way or another. Your mother. Yes. Your siblings. Yes. You. Her voice was barely sound. Yes. He exhaled slowly, a sound full of anger he was trying not to show. He is not taking anything else from you. He already has. Not anymore. You cannot stop him. I can try. He will not fight you straight. He never does. Then I will fight however he fights. You think you know how to deal with men like him. I know how to deal with men who think fear is power. She held her breath as he stepped closer again. You won't be going back to work at the cabin today, he said. And tomorrow. Not tomorrow either. I need the job. You need to stay alive more. I am alive. You are barely breathing. She looked down at the table, at the third cup sitting between them like a ghost. What do we do now? We wait. For what? For him to come again. And if he does? He will not expect me here. And if he does expect you? Then he will not expect what I will do next. She stared at him for a long quiet moment. You are putting yourself at risk. I already am. What if he ruins you? I have been ruined before, he whispered. This time I ruin him back. The sheriff walked a few steps behind her as they moved through the yard, the morning still hanging heavy with the memory of the third cup. The chickens scattered as she opened the gate, their wings flapping in frantic bursts, as if startled by something she couldn't see. She knelt to check the feed bin, pretending her hands weren't shaking. He stood near the fence, watching everything except her, like the trees themselves might move. They are nervous, she said. Animals know things before people do. You believe that? Yes. So you think he is close? I think he never left. She swallowed. Do not say that. You want me to lie. I want you to let me breathe. I cannot if breathing means pretending. She poured feed into a metal bowl. The sound echoed against the quiet. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. You did not sleep last night. Neither did you. I was listening. For what? For footsteps. You think he would come inside again? I think he left that cup for a reason. What reason? To show he could. He always could. Not while I was there. Then he wanted you to know it. Maybe. She stood and brushed dirt from her apron. You do not need to stay today. Yes, I do. No, you do not. You think I will leave you alone here? You should. I am not going anywhere. She let out a shaky breath. Sheriff, you do not know what he is capable of. Then tell me. He hides in plain sight. So do I. He moves like he is part of the dark. So do I. He wants control. So do I. She turned to him sharply. Not like that. He paused, understanding the weight of her words. I mean, I want control of the situation. Not you. She nodded once but didn't look convinced. He watched her walk toward the coop, her steps slow and cautious, her eyes scanning the tree-line even if she didn't notice she was doing it. A loose wind chime hung from the porch beam, its rope frayed from age. It trembled in the faint breeze, then fell suddenly, slamming against the porch with a metallic cry. She jumped. What was that? Wind chime. It has never fallen before. He walked over and picked it up. The rope wasn't just frayed. It had been cut clean. He held out the string for her to see. This was not the wind, he said. Her face paled. He is warning me. He is warning me. Why would he do that? Because I stayed. No, she whispered. Because you stepped between us. He dropped the chime onto the porch. Then he knows we are not running. We are not fighting him either. I am. You will lose. Not today. She hugged her arms across her chest, her voice small. He follows because he must. What does that mean? He cannot let go. Of you. Of control. Did he say that? He does not need to. I lived with it. He stared at her, the weight of her history settling deeper in his bones. He does not own you. He thinks he does. He is wrong. He does not care if he is wrong. He cares if someone stands in his way. He will destroy everything you are. That is not much, the sheriff said quietly. She looked at him, startled by the honesty. Do not say that. It is true. You help people. No, he said. I keep the peace. That is not the same. It is enough. Not for this. She stepped closer. You are not alone in this. I know. You think taking me in helps. It keeps you alive. It keeps you trapped in this with me. I walked in on my own. But you could walk away. I will not. You should. I cannot. Her breath stilled. Why? He didn't answer at first. Then he spoke slowly, each word heavy. Because I cannot watch someone be hunted and pretend it is not happening. Her eyes softened with something like sorrow. He will not stop. Neither will I. A quiet settled between them, not empty but full, holding too many truths neither knew how to say aloud. The sheriff looked at the cut rope again, then toward the woods where the trees seemed to lean just a bit too close. He is watching, the sheriff murmured. I know. And you still think I should leave you alone? I think you should protect yourself. I am. He stepped beside her, close enough to share the same breath of cold morning air. You are not the one he wants, she whispered. I am now. Evening came too fast, settling over the yard like a heavy blanket no one asked for. The sheriff sat on her porch steps, elbows on his knees, watching the shifting line of trees. She moved around the kitchen behind him, trying to keep busy, trying to pretend the air wasn't tightening with each passing minute. A single lantern glowed in the window. Everything else was swallowed by dusk. You should come inside, she said softly. I am fine. You have been staring at the trees for an hour. They stare back. That is not funny. I was not joking. She stepped onto the porch, rubbing her arms against the cold. He will not come right now. He already did. The cup was from last night. He is patient. So are you, she said. He didn't answer. She sat beside him, close enough to feel the warmth of his shoulder. What happens now? We wait. For what? For him to show his face. He will not. Then he will make a mistake. He does not make mistakes. The sheriff looked at her. Everyone makes mistakes. She shook her head slowly. Not him. He opened his mouth to argue, but a sound drifted from the trees. Soft. Wrong. A voice, faint as breath, carrying her name through the branches. She froze. The sheriff went rigid beside her. Did you hear that? She whispered. Yes. The voice came again. Not a shout. Not a threat. A slow dragging whisper, stretching her name like a memory turned sour. Do not move, the sheriff murmured. She clenched her hands together. He is close. I know. He should not know where we are. He has always known. The sheriff rose to his feet, scanning the tree line. She caught his sleeve. Do not go near the woods. I am not. You are thinking about it. I am thinking about how to stop him. Branches cracked. Leaves shifted. Something large moved between the trees then vanished again. She took a step back. He is calling me, she whispered. He wants you to follow the voice. I know. Do not. I will not. He turned toward her, expression tight with something more than anger. He is trying to see if you are alone. And he sees you. The sheriff's jaw clenched. Good. No. Not good. He hates competition. I am not competing for anything. You are standing where he thinks he belongs. He is wrong. He does not care. Another whisper slithered through the dark, closer this time. She flinched. The sheriff stepped in front of her without thinking. Inside, he said. No. Yes. He will know we are hiding. He already does. I am not going in there alone. You are not alone. He wants me scared. Let him want. He wants me cornered. He will not get it. She hesitated, then backed toward the door as another crack split through the trees. The sheriff followed her, closing the door behind them and locking it tight. The house fell into thick, uneasy silence. She pressed her back to the wall. He is calling again, she whispered. Inside my head. No. That is fear. Fear has his voice. He moved to the window and peered out. Nothing. Only the dark licking the edges of the clearing. She stood behind him, arms wrapped around herself. You think he is alone? She asked. Yes. He never used to work alone. He turned quickly. What does that mean? He had people who listened to him. People who did what he wanted. You think he brought someone? I do not know. What did he make them do? She swallowed. Watch. Threaten. Sometimes worse. Worse how? I do not want to say. You need to. No, she said, voice cracking. Talking about it brings him closer. He is already here. Her eyes filled. Sheriff, he will not stop until something breaks. Then let it be him. Another heavy thump hit the outside wall. She gasped. The sheriff grabbed her arm and pulled her away from the window. Stay behind me. Do you see him? No. Do you hear him? Yes. The sheriff locked every latch on the door, then grabbed the lantern and set it on the table. The flame shook like it felt the same fear they did. He wants you scared, the sheriff said again. Yes. He wants you alone. Yes. He wants to take back what he thinks he lost. She lowered her head. Me. Yes, he said. And he is not getting you. The wind outside rose, brushing the door with slow deliberate pressure. Then the whisper came again. Her name stretched long, scraped raw. She covered her ears. He is getting closer. The sheriff's voice dropped to a cold steady tone. I know who it is. She froze. No, she whispered. Do not say it. He is your brother. Stop. He never died. Stop. He followed you here. She shook her head violently, eyes filling. Do not say it. If you say it, he will come through the door. The whisper came again. Closer. Hungry. The sheriff stepped between her and the door. Then let him try. The house felt too small for their breathing. The sheriff stood between her and the door, every muscle ready for whatever waited outside. She pressed her back against the wall, palms flat, as if holding herself in place. The lantern shook faintly on the table. The whispering stopped. The silence that followed felt worse. He is waiting, she whispered. I know. He always waits before he moves. I know. He wants me to say his name. You do not have to. He thinks I do. The sheriff moved closer to the door, listening. She reached toward him without touching. Do not go out there. I am not. You want to. Yes. But you cannot. I know, he said. I am not stupid. Another soft thump hit the wall. She jumped. The sheriff steadied her with one hand on her arm. She shut her eyes. He will not stop, she said. He will tonight. No. He will come back. Then I will be here. You cannot stay forever. I can stay long enough. She opened her eyes. You do not understand what happens if he gets angry. I understand angry men. Not like him. He looked at her, really looked. You are not alone anymore. That is what scares him. That is what should scare him, the sheriff murmured. Another sound scraped along the outer boards, like fingernails dragging down wood. She gasped, covering her mouth. The sheriff grabbed his revolver and held it low, steady, controlled. He is trying to make you come outside, the sheriff said. He knows I will not. Good. But he knows you might. I will not. Yes, you will. You want to stop him. I want to protect you. You cannot protect me if he gets inside. He will not. The scraping stopped. Something heavier stepped onto the porch. Slow. Purposeful. She clung to the wall, trembling. He is right there, she whispered. I hear him. He wants to see if you are afraid. I am not. He wants to break you. He will not. She inhaled sharply. Sheriff, he is my brother. I know. He should not be alive. He is. He was not like this before. Yes, he was. You just learned how to name it. She shook her head. No. Something changed. What changed? Me, she whispered. I left. The sheriff stepped closer to the window, peeking through the crack in the curtain. He is trying to get inside. She pressed both hands to her chest. Do not let him. I will not. You cannot shoot him. I know. You cannot fight him. I can. No, she said, grabbing his arm. He will not fight fair. Neither will I. Their eyes locked. Then a heavy bang rattled the door. She screamed before she could stop herself. The sheriff pulled her behind him. Back up, he said. He is coming in. He will not get through that door. He can. Another crash. The hinges groaned. He is testing it, the sheriff said. He does not test things. He does tonight. Another quiet pause. Then a deep voice, low and stretched, drifted through the crack of the door. Let her out. She shook violently. The sheriff lifted his revolver. No, she whispered. Do not answer him. He already knows we are both here. Do not speak to him. The sheriff looked at her. He wants you. He does not get you. He wants control, she whispered. And I will not let him have it. You cannot protect what he thinks belongs to him. He is wrong. A long silence followed. Heavy footsteps crossed the porch slowly, moving toward the far window. The sheriff tracked the sound with his weapon raised. He is looking for a weak spot, she whispered. He will not find one. He will. The sheriff exhaled. Then he will learn I am standing in his way. He will hurt you, she said softly. He turned to her. I have been hurt before. Not like this. I do not care. But I do, she whispered. Another crash came from the back of the house. The sheriff spun toward the kitchen. He is circling. Sheriff, she whispered. Do not leave me. I am not. The back window rattled violently. He stepped closer but kept her behind him. He is desperate, the sheriff said. He thinks I will go back if he scares me. You will not. No. Something slammed again. But this time the sheriff didn't move. The sound faded. Footsteps retreated into the trees. Is he gone? She breathed. No. He listened. They both listened. The woods swallowed the noise until nothing remained. He is not retreating, the sheriff whispered. He is waiting. To see what we do, she added. Yes. She lowered her head. He will try again. I know. Tonight. I know. Maybe now. Maybe. The sheriff holstered his revolver, walked to the table, and blew out the shaking lantern flame. Darkness wrapped the two of them. He turned to her. You are staying with me, he said. What? You and your family. I have no family left. You do now. Tears filled her eyes. You cannot take me in. I already have. You do not know what that means. Yes, he said softly. It means he does not get to carry you anymore. She covered her mouth. He will come for you. Let him. You cannot fight a curse. I am not fighting a curse, the sheriff whispered. I am fighting a man. The wind outside rose. A distant branch snapped. She stepped closer to him, trembling in the dark. What happens at dawn? She asked. I take you back to the cabin. And then? And then I protect you. From him? From everything. The house settled around them like a promise wrapped in fear. She leaned into him, just enough for her shaking to find stillness. "He will not stop," she whispered. "No," the sheriff said. "But neither will I." And for the first time, she believed him.